Captain on the bridge.
Any contact from the USS Congo or the starbase on Corinth?
Negative, Captain. There is no signal. Not even the base's automated communications beacon.
Keep checking. What's causing that?
Still unknown, sir. Richards?
We only know that the disruptions intensify as we approach the inner planets of the system. We're trying to chart them as...
Fanny Richards, sir.
She came aboard at the Ophiuchus colony. I've assigned her as your new personal assistant.
Captain? Debris field ahead. Parts of a Starship hull.
Not the Congo?
Negative. Not Starfleet alloys. Could be Hydron or Tressaurian. Whoever it was, they lost the battle. There's hope, Quince.
The Congo reported they were investigating unidentified alien vessels in the vicinity of Starbase 16.
I served on the Congo even longer than you did. Costnet's the last man who'd fall for an ambush. And he wouldn't take on an enemy force the Congo couldn't handle. Not when he knew we were on the way.
Unless he had no choice.
Sir, I have the planet on visual.
That can't be Corinth 4.
It is, sir. This is impossible. This planet's geologically stable. There's been no record of quakes or volcanic activity since it was first discovered. What we're seeing now is...
It's a nightmare. Life signs?
Indeterminate.
There are over 2,000 people assigned to Starbase 16, Commander.
The planet's magnetic field is in violent flux. We aren't able to get accurate surface readings, so there could be survivors. A surface party would be necessary to be certain.
Assemble a landing party and meet me in the transporter room. Mr. Cuddy, you have the bridge. Garavik to Exeter.
Exeter here.
Starbase 16 is completely destroyed. Has scanning section been able to cut through this interference yet?
Negative, Captain. Not around our starbase. But we are reading something to the north of your position.
We have to find a survivor who can tell us what happened. Space. Endless. Silent. Waiting. This is the new odyssey of the Starship Exeter. Her 5-year mission: to guard the Federation frontier, to patrol uncharted space and scout alien worlds, to brave the darkness of the last vast unknown. Stardate 5713.1, Captain's Log. Responding to a distress call from the Starship Congo, we found the ship's main hull and the starbase it was protecting destroyed by an unknown weapon of unimaginable power. There were no survivors on the planet. We are now searching for the Congo's star drive section in the hopes that someone aboard it has survived.
There's debris in orbit, but it's not large enough to be a Starship engineering hull.
Widen your scans to include the inner part of the star system. Who did this?
You're convinced this is an attack?
Starbase 16 was our only outpost in this sector. Half a dozen species lay claim to this whole area of space, and none of them are what I would call peace-loving. What are the odds that this was a coincidence?
Not a chance. I've run an analysis of the samples we brought back from the surface. It's as if everything down there was torn apart at the subatomic level and reassembled in an instant.
What could do that?
Nothing we've seen before. It's no natural phenomenon. No one could have survived it.
And the Congo?
The Congo's saucer was destroyed by conventional weapons, phaser or disruptor fire.
So they arrived too late to save the starbase. They went after the ship, or ships, that destroyed it.
Respectfully, sir, you're speculating.
Can you pinpoint the source of the disruptions?
Yes, sir.
Then feed those coordinates to the helm. That's where we'll find the Congo. Look at that. Life signs?
Not reading any, but the interference with our sensors is worse here.
I thought these things were getting weaker.
Except that we're right on top of the source. Captain, the spatial disruptions are coming from inside what's left of the Congo.
Inside? How is that possible? Mr. Bafuzalek, any response to our hails?
No, Captain, I am receiving no messages
Lieutenant.
from there.
Are you ill?
No, Captain. My antenna. I have what you would call, I think, headache.
I'm going over there. Mr. Bafuzalek, I'll need you to access the Congo's logs and data tapes, if you're up to it.
Of course, sir.
Have Chief Engineer Shelley and Dr. Azzato meet us in the transporter room.
Aye, sir.
Cuddy, you're with me.
All dead, Captain. Breeding no signs of life.
Do a manual sweep of the other decks. There may still be survivors.
They'll be just as dead in person.
Captain, there's no way this ship can move on its own power. It's barely holding together as it is. And there's no way we can tow another starship all the way back to Earth space.
We can't leave it out here, not while hostiles are in the area.
Rig the warp pod so that we can detonate the wreck from aboard the Exeter.
Aye, sir.
Captain, I'm reading power signs from down below. It's not Starfleet. Quince! Tressaurians.
Captain Cosnet. Damn it. In all our years aboard this ship, how many times did you think we were done for?
I don't know. Too many. Those locust things on Pollux, remember?
I remember. He always got us home. Tressaurians will pay.
I don't believe it.
This is the source of the gravitational disruptions, Captain.
What is it?
Zato to Garevik.
Garevik here.
Captain, the Andorian's having some kind of seizure.
Beam back immediately.
We'll follow. I've got another patient for you here.
Bafuselik's still in sick bay. Sedated for now.
I'm running some tests, but I believe Mr. Bafuselik is being affected by the energy coming from that gadget we found on Congo.
That gadget doesn't look like something that could wipe out a planet.
There's no question that it did. Before Mr. Bafuselik's attack, he was able to retrieve many of Congo's recent logs. This is one of the last entries.
We fought off a second Tressaurian. They're determined to keep us away from the weapon that destroyed our starbase. Science Officer Morgan says it's using the system's plasma as an energy source, and it'll be days before its power level drops enough for us to get a safe transporter lock on it. We have got to get it retrieved and back to Starfleet.
Soviet hackers are coming in fast.
They had figured out a way to shut it down manually and were doing this when the Tressaurians attacked again.
What do we know about the Tressaurians?
Tressaurians are a bipedal reptilian species believed related to the Gorn.
That's good,
The
Ensign.
most significant encounter to date was the so-called Tangaro incident, in which Tressaurians fired upon and disabled an unarmed Federation transport. Among the survivors was current commander of this vessel, then cadet, John Quincy Garrett.
Ensign Richards! I'm asking what we know about the disposition of Tressaurian forces in this sector.
Yes, sir.
Anyone?
There are more than a dozen planetary settlements. We know that at least some of their colonies are forward military bases, and we estimate their numbers in this sector to be about 20 million.
Ship deployments? Troop strength?
We just don't know much.
But we know they'll be back to retrieve their weapon. Can we risk bringing it aboard the Exeter?
The Tressaurians damaged Congo's hangar deck in their final attack. We'll have to beam it over. We can use the data from the Congo's microtape records to complete the shutdown.
Whoa, that thing still bites. I can swear to that.
You should be more careful where you put your hands. One person who knows what they're doing should be able to handle it.
And why should we do that? Let's just blow the thing to smithereens for Pete's sake. The galaxy would be better off for it.
Commander Harris, who do you recommend we send?
I recommend me, sir.
Very well. Helmsman, take us in as close as you can to the Congo.
Aye, sir.
Dismissed. Commander.
Captain?
I don't need a personal assistant.
All Starship class...
I don't want a personal assistant.
Ensign Richards...
It's a bright and I'm sure very capable young woman. She's certainly eager enough.
Ensign Richards is a command college candidate. A rotation as assistant to the ship's commander is a prerequisite to her career advancement. When you are captain, it's not always a question of what you want. Cheer up, Captain. If I screw up over there, you can take it up tomorrow with your next exec. I'm sure Commander Cutty will be far more tractable.
Joe, if you screw up, we may not see tomorrow.
Energize. To Exeter. I'm going to initiate shutdown of the device.
Acknowledged. Good luck. What in blazes? Commander Harris. Commander Harris, respond.
Sir, Congo's vanished.
Richards, reestablish contact with Commander Harris.
I'm trying, sir. I can't.
Tressaurian attack cruiser, heading 14 Mark III. Bearing down fast.
Go to red alert. Arm weapons. Shields at maximum. Phasers, stand by. Can you raise Commander Harris?
No, sir.
This is the United Starship Exeter calling Tressaurian vessel. Please respond.
You are in violation of our space. Withdraw or be destroyed.
This sector is recognized as neutral territory under the terms of the Treaty of Axanar. We are currently investigating the destruction of one of our outposts.
Demons learn nothing on Tengaro.
Return fire.
Hit on their midsection.
Helm, evasive. Keep us within transporter range of the Congo's last position.
Harris to Exeter.
Captain, please respond. I have Commander Harris's signal.
Chief, do you have a lock?
Yes, sir, but the Tressaurians are trying to jam our signal.
Captain, the enemy's changed course. They're moving in on the Congo.
Oh, are they? Mr. Cuddy, prepare to detonate the Congo's engines. On my mark.
Ready.
Captain, Commander Harris is aboard.
Now! Go.
Harris here, Captain. The weapon is secured. Except that it's not a weapon and I don't think it's Tressaurian.
Explain.
I can't just yet. I need to do some further readings to confirm my theory about what it is and what it's designed to do.
Understood. Helm, move off. Keep an eye out for Tressaurians. Defense, set long-range sensors to perimeter scan.
Aye, sir.
Supplementary Captain's log. I've decided to remain in the area rather than return the captured device to Starfleet. Tressaurians are ruthless and aggressive, but attacking a starbase and destroying a starship indicates something much bigger at work here. What is this device, and what do they intend to use it for? Cuddy thinks my past with the Tressaurians has affected my judgment. I wish I could be sure he was wrong.
We wanted to know when the Andorian woke up.
Doctor! What happened?
I don't know. He recovered suddenly about 10 minutes ago.
And he's just fine now?
Well, he talks too much.
Thanks, Doc.
Captain, I must apologize for my earlier weakness. Andorians are able to sense magnetic and gravitational fields. It is one of the functions of our antennae.
I'm afraid I don't see the advantage.
The complex gravitational interaction of my home star and its dwarf companions creates great geologic instability.
Wait. Your people live underground?
Yes.
On a planet prone to violent earthquakes, you choose to live underground.
Yes, sir.
You're not the most logical folks in the galaxy, are you, mister?
No, sir.
If you sense any new gravitational abnormalities, alert me immediately, understood?
Of course, Captain.
Harris has a report on that thing. She wants to meet us in the transporter room.
Ah, Captain. When I approached this device to deactivate it, I crossed a dimensional threshold of some kind. I literally stepped into another universe.
That's when we lost contact.
Yes. This device generates a harmonic oscillation that resonates with the gravitational field of a nearby star or other massive space-time displacement.
Yeah.
Look, you throw a rock into a pond, you get nice round ripples. Throw in a second rock near it, and the two sets of ripples cross one another. At that intersection, the predictable pattern of the surface becomes chaotic. If you want the mathematics of it...
No, let's focus on the end result here.
The result is to shift a large area of space into another universe that coexists with our own on a higher dimensional plane.
And if something goes wrong?
We've seen what happened on Corinth.
And what makes you think that was an accident?
Captain, I doubt the Tressaurians understand this thing. They couldn't have invented it themselves. It would take us decades to figure out the physics required, and the Tressaurians aren't known for their dedication to pure science research. They stole this from someone and decided to test it at a safe distance from their own colonies.
Stole it from whom?
Jarvik to bridge. Report.
Incoming, Captain. 3 Tressaurian warships.
Brake shields to full power. Come about to 182 Mark III. Ready torpedoes.
Aye, sir.
On my command. Fire!
Phaser control reports. Overloads and circuit burnouts.
Auxiliary power to phasers.
Damage forward shields.
The Tressaurians have broken off their attack.
Captain, the Tressaurians are hailing us.
Ship to ship. Audio only.
You have been warned, yet you remain. State your business in our territory.
They didn't want to talk before. Why now?
Distraction.
Security team to transporter room. On the double.
This is the captain. Intruder alert. Regular personnel clear decks 6 and 7. I repeat, intruder alert.
We'll leave our space immediately.
We'll leave when we've determined what happened to our starbase.
This is your final.
Go ahead.
Security here, Captain. One Tressaurian dead. We're holding another in the brig.
How long until they realize that they failed?
Damage control, deck 7 and 8.
Several unidentified vessels. Coming in at warp 8, multiple vectors.
Captain John Quincy Garevic of the Federation Starship Exeter. Thank you for your assistance. The Tressaurians were...
The Tressaurians stole a valuable prototype device. Let their destruction serve as a warning. Leave this area immediately.
It is our understanding that under treaty, this sector is open to exploration and settlement.
Your treaty was with the old assembly. The new assembly does not tolerate insolence. Of the Tressaurians and our prototype, this matter is resolved. Thalia does not seek conflict with the Federation. We find your attempt at diplomacy before action interesting. Leave this area now.
Of course. Reverse course, out of this sector, warp 2. Sorry you lost your prototype.
It served its purpose.
Harris, track those ships. I want to know where they go from here.
Captain?
He called it a prototype. Prototype of what? Track them from beyond the edge of their sensor range and feed the coordinates to the helm. I'll be in security. You have the bridge.
Yes, sir. Captain, we don't know much about the Tholians. I'm not sure what the sensor range of their ships is.
I have faith in your powers of scientific deduction, Commander. If you get us all blown up, I'll be very disappointed.
He's been the soul of cooperation, cold-blooded bastard. Took that off his dead partner. Engineering says that's some kind of homing beacon, I suppose, so they can get a lock on that prototype and beam it back to the ship.
Well, that's another thing that hasn't gone your way. The Tholians destroyed both your ships. Took them about 6 seconds.
We have the right to defend our territory.
By destroying a starbase? And killing thousands of people?
Your starbase was unimportant. A necessary sacrifice. We protect what is ours.
By stealing from the Tholians?
They are the thieves. They plot to steal our space. We'll grind the bones of every Tholian in the quadrant to dust before we surrender a parsec. Captain Garevic. Yes, we all know the hero of Tangaro. You command the unwanted starship, filled with the ghosts of a dead crew. We should have killed you at Tangaro and spared you the shame.
Charming. Do Tholians even have bones?
Bridge.
You've never talked about Tangaro.
You suppose there's a reason? It was my 4th year in the academy. My class was outward bound on a Starfleet transport. We were headed for survival training. The Tressaurians fired on us. We evacuated in lifeboats. Some of us made it to a planet that wasn't on the charts.
Tangaro.
I was the senior surviving cadet. I organized the settlement and reassured the civilian passengers that Starfleet would find us in a few days or weeks.
But you were stranded for
2 years. My uncle died on Tycho during that time. And Beth? She gave me up for dead. Married some guy in the merchant service.
We've tracked the Tholians to the red giant star system ahead. There's a lot of activity near the primary.
Can we get closer?
Not without them spotting us.
Long-range sensors, then. Full magnification.
What in the name of God?
The same as the prototype, only millions of times more powerful. The Tholian device is consuming that entire star as an energy source. I estimate it has the power to shift this entire sector of space into another universe.
That's what the Tressaurian meant. By stealing space. Tholians think of us as a nuisance, always trespassing in their territory.
So they'll shift their territory right into another universe. That other dimension did seem just like the kind of place to suit them.
But we've seen what it does. We have to destroy it before it can be used.
Captain, even if our weapons will have an effect on the device, the prototype interfered with our sensors when we were within millions of kilometers of it. Imagine that effect multiplied thousands of times.
Keep probing with long-range sensors. Learn everything you can. Find me a way, Commander.
This is suicide. And for what? We have no other bases in this sector.
How many Tressaurians in this sector, Cuddy? You estimated 20 million.
And why do you care after what they've done?
I don't have time for this, Cuddy. Captain's personal log. Maybe my past with the Tressaurians is clouding me. Cuddy's question keeps ringing in my head. Why do I care? I hate the Tressaurians. I hate what they did to Cosnet. I hate what they did to me. On Tangaro, I knew what I had to do. But now...
Fought off a second Tressaurian. They're determined to keep us away from the weapon that destroyed our starbase.
Now Cosnet was dead. One of the fleet's best captains, gone. And for what?
Reports that their weapon forces matter to collapse in. But one way or the other, we have got to get it retrieved and back to Starfleet.
There it is. I have the device. My duty is to save my ship and report back to Starfleet. I could turn my back on the Tressaurians, let them all die. No one would question it. They'd probably pin another medal on me. But I'd never be free of it. More guilt, more anger, and more dead won't bring back those people who died on Tangaro. I won't let the Tressaurians do that to me again. I have to stop the Tholians. Somehow.
Chili and black coffee, sir. Excuse me, sir, but Captain Cosnet was a hero to you.
Of course.
He died protecting the Federation. That was his duty. But you're willing to risk everything to defend an enemy against a greater evil. That is above and beyond.
When did you graduate the academy?
18 months ago, sir.
That explains your romantic notions about the Star Service.
Romantic?
Captain Cosnet warned me once. Heroic fantasies are for people who live behind safe borders. Out here, on the frontier, they'll get you killed. He was right. I learned it the hard way.
On Tangaro?
Yes. Your recitation earlier made us all sound like heroes.
You were a hero, sir. You took command on Tangaro.
I did what was necessary on Tangaro. I don't look back at it. If you second guess yourself in a crisis, you lose command. Start to collapse in on yourself. That's it.
Forces matter to collapse in.
Collapse in. This is the captain. All decks, condition alert. All decks, condition alert. Commander Harris.
Harris here.
I'm on my way to the bridge. I've got it. We're going to destroy that thing out there. You said the Tholian machine and the prototype both work by amplifying and distorting local gravitational fields.
An oversimplification, sir, but essentially correct.
What would happen if we activated the prototype and beamed it directly into the heart of that thing out there?
Interesting. The harmonic interference would probably create a gravitational vortex. It certainly would destroy both devices.
Certainly destroy. Sounds promising.
There are two problems. First, the proximity of the red giant. All the mass out there potentially could be sucked into the vortex, creating a black hole singularity.
A calculated risk. Second problem?
Getting within transporter range. Our navigational sensors will be useless within millions of kilometers of the device.
We don't need sensors. All we need is a compass.
My first assignment was helm control. I could pilot us in. I can sense our approach to the power source.
You mean the closer we are, the more excruciating the pain?
Precisely.
It could kill you.
Stations, everyone. Fuzilek?
Aye, sir.
There are at least a dozen Tholian ships swarming around that thing out there. We have to distract them. I have an idea. Go ahead.
Shuttlecraft Archimedes, rigged and ready.
Clear hangar deck. Depressurizing. All systems clear for shuttlecraft launch. Shuttle launch sequence complete.
All right, let's start our run before they figure it out.
Captain, contact with the Tholian gravity wave in 4, 3, 2, 1.
We need that diversion now. Cuddy.
Cuddy here. Shuttlecraft is on course. Ready here, Quince.
Commander?
Yes, sir. They're moving off to investigate, all but two.
They went for it! Thought the beacon was a Tressaurian intruder. And it looks like their Tressaurians are tracking their own homing beacon too.
It's a K-class warship. They brought in the big one.
Now's our chance, Lieutenant. Full ahead. Transporter room. Device activation and beam out in 4 minutes. Mark.
Aye, sir.
One of the remaining ships is hailing us.
On screen.
You have violated protected space. Leave immediately.
Regret we cannot comply. I suggest you pursue a diplomatic remedy, Commander.
We will destroy your ship if you do not...
File a complaint with the Federation Council.
Insolence will not be tolerated.
Defense status.
Hit on starboard warp pod.
We return fire.
Negative. Too much sensor interference. That's it! External sensors are down. We're flying blind.
I believe I resent that, Commander.
Steady as she goes.
The shields can't take much more there!
Carry it to transporter room. Chief!
Captain, I have transporter training.
Get down there! We'll signal you when it's time!
Aye, sir. Get security.
Bridge to transporter room. Energize now. I repeat, energize now. Internal sensors indicate that the transporter's been activated.
Lieutenant! Get us out of here!
Systems are returning ship-wide. We have internal communications.
Stand down from red alert. Call Dr. Izato to the bridge.
Bridge to sick bay. Izato to the bridge.
Captain, Tressaurian warship approaching.
The Tressaurian ship has lowered its shield, sir.
Considering that in our current situation they probably could have blown us to Kingdom Come, I'd take that as a show of gratitude. I think you've just scored a diplomatic victory, Captain.
I'll sleep better knowing that. Hell, get us out of Tholian, Tressaurian, whose ever space we're in. Mr. Cuddy, damage report? Casualties?
3 thus far, but Quince. We lost the entire section around the transporter room. No one could have survived.
Dear Mr. and Mrs. Richards, I don't know when my letter will reach you. There's subspace time lag. And I'm sure Vandy has told you how unreliable mail relay is here on the frontier. I know Starfleet will have informed you of your daughter's sacrifice. I know, too, that my words can bring you little comfort in your grief. The only consolation I can offer is that her shipmates knew her as a fine officer, outstanding in the performance of her duties aboard the Exeter. But military tradition reserves our highest honors for those who sacrifice themselves above and beyond the call of duty. This Vandy did.
Her actions saved this ship, this crew, and countless innocent lives. Her actions serve to remind us of why we wear the uniform and of the sacrifices we must all be prepared to make in the course of our duties.